only started taking skiing seriously about 4 years ago when I turned 32, and since then it has become a bit of an obsession. I've now skied in over 60 stations across 8 countries, and as of this last season, I've skied over 100 days alone. And I was able to improve quickly, mostly because I was really motivated, but also thanks to these tips that I'm going to share with you. So, my first set of tips is about how you can prepare before you even get on the mountain. And the second set of tips is really about technique and the things that I did on the mountain that really allowed me to see the biggest improvements. So, stay tuned through the end because all of it together will make you a better skier. My first tip is to start training early. Skiing is a very physical sport, so building strength and getting in shape in the weeks before your trip will only help you. My personal favorite method of training prior to ski season is reformer Pilates, which has a lot of benefits, but most importantly, it builds core strength and improves balance. I've also found that at-home workouts like using resistance bands have been really helpful for me to get my leg muscles and my core muscles ready for skiing. And doing things like squats with resistance and static holds like planks and side planks are also great for warming up before you head out to ski. My second tip, as you already know, is that YouTube is a great free resource. But maybe not so obvious is that you could really benefit from some of the very specific videos that are out there. For example, some of the most helpful videos I've seen for beginners were about tips for getting on and off a ski lift. And I've also seen a really helpful video about how to get up when you fall. And if you already have some experience and you're looking for more specific advice, I've also found that it's helpful to watch a variety of videos on the same topic. Because sometimes the way a move is explained by someone may not seem to be clear at all, but after hearing the way someone else explains it, it can immediately click. A few channels that offer great tips are Stomp It Tutorials and Ski School by Elate Media. I will link them in the description so that they're easy for you to find. My next tip is to invest in or rent quality gear. And good quality doesn't necessarily mean expensive. In fact, there is a lot of expensive gear out there that is not good quality. But when it comes to clothing, you want pieces that will keep you warm and dry when it's cold out, but that are also versatile and breathable and adjustable for when it's not too cold out. I think it's really important to be able to focus on the sport physically without distractions like being cold or wet, or having to deal with a broken zipper, or wearing poorly fitting clothes that don't allow for a full range of motion. So look for things that are highly rated. I will link a guide with everything I use in the description below, which covers everything from my jackets and pants and mid layers and base layers and socks. And it also covers all of the gear and the accessories that I use too. I think the most important piece of gear and the advice that I share with everyone, because it was a mistake that I made myself, is to pay attention to the quality and clarity of your goggles. I honestly think this is what helped me the most when it came to becoming a better skier. It wasn't until I invested in a high quality set of goggles with interchangeable lenses that I realized how much easier it was to ski when I could clearly see the texture of the snow in front of me. It may seem like common sense, but no one explained this to me when I started skiing, so I'm sharing it with anyone who needs to hear it. The lighting on the mountain can change day to day and hour to hour and even minute to minute. So you want to be sure that you're wearing the appropriate lenses, which is why it's helpful to have an interchangeable set. Or you can use goggles with photochromic lenses, which will change automatically depending on the lighting conditions. Before I knew better, I would wear the wrong goggles for the conditions. For example, I would wear bright light lenses on a very cloudy day, and because I could not see the snow clearly, I would ski much more slowly and I would hesitate. And when I learned to pay better attention to my lenses, I was much more confident on the mountain, and confidence is the key to improving. So my next tip is to prioritize spending more days on the mountain instead of more time per day. I think that it's important that you don't tire yourself out. If you can commit to skiing multiple days, you won't feel as pressured to have to ski all day if you're not feeling well or if the conditions are not ideal. The point of skiing is to have fun, and if you're pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion and you're no longer having fun, then the purpose has been defeated. And learning and building skill comes easiest when you're fresh and motivated, and skiing while tired can be dangerous for you and for others around you. I know when planning a longer ski trip, the expense is certainly a concern, but there are ways to budget for it, and you can take advantage of lower pricing by purchasing your passes well in advance, or by visiting independent ski areas that offer half-day lift tickets. Or you could expand your search and look to ski anywhere in Europe, which I've done a lot of and which is where I am currently. As an American, it really is a lot more economical to ski here. And I can also link a video where I talk about all the differences between skiing in Europe versus skiing in the US. But before I get distracted, I now want to go over the tips for getting better at skiing that you can follow when you're on the mountain. And I wanted to emphasize that last point about trying to plan a trip where you can spend as many days on the mountain as possible, because the most important thing you can do to get better at skiing is to get comfortable on a variety of snow conditions. The more days you can spend on the mountain, the more you will get to experience snow at different temperatures and different textures and with different lighting. And the more you can experience, the better. So much of improving your skiing or learning how to ski faster is being confident in your ability to stop on different slopes and in different conditions. And what I mean by that is, for example, once you gain experience turning or stopping on ice, even if it's really slow to start, you will build confidence and you will be more comfortable anytime you come across ice in the future, even if it's just a little bit more comfortable. And if you gain experience turning and stopping at steeper inclines, the next time you ski similar inclines, you will know that you've already done it before, and you will be more confident in your abilities. So you can gain this experience by skiing multiple days, but also by intentionally going at different times of the day, like in the afternoon versus the morning. And you can also get this experience by skiing different sides of the mountain, where the areas that are shadier may have icier conditions, and the areas that are in direct sunlight may have softer snow. And the more you get familiar with skiing on different conditions, the more prepared you will be both physically and mentally, and the more confident you will be to explore all over the mountain. So my next tip is, if you want to get faster at skiing, you should practice on moguls. I know that moguls are definitely intimidating, and I know most people try to avoid them, but even if you move through them super slowly, the experience will help you improve tremendously. I've personally noticed my greatest advances occur thanks to spending time on moguls. If you can learn to appreciate skiing on moguls, and trust me, 4 years ago I never imagined that I would say these words, but here I am. But if you can get experience skiing on moguls, then you will notice how effortless skiing on a perfectly groomed piste or on fresh powder will feel. And each time you face similar moguls, you will already be more comfortable, and the next time you experience a smooth surface, you will appreciate it that much more. And without even realizing it, you will be skiing down the smooth surfaces so much faster. And my next tip is, if you want to improve skiing on steeper slopes, then repetition is key. The first time you look at and ski down a particular slope is when it will feel the steepest. And if you ski down something that feels steep, but you're able to manage, then you should immediately do it again. Because the second time you do it, you have the confidence from already having done it, and it is automatically less scary. And then from there, you can continue progressing to steeper slopes and then repeating them, and then on and on. Something I've noticed once I progress to skiing steep slopes is that at this point for me personally, I actually feel like steeper slopes are easier to ski and that flatter slopes have become harder. Because now I feel like it takes more effort to ski on a flatter slope when I don't have gravity helping as much. And this feeling comes from me having confidence in my ability to stop and to control my speed in different conditions. But I remember that was a key moment for me to kind of have this realization that I was starting to feel like steeper slopes were easier than flatter slopes, which is the inverse of what I felt when I started to ski, which is totally normal and natural. But I think as you progress and you start to have this realization too, then it's a sign that you're really improving. So just to recap the last 3 tips I covered, which are the 3 questions I get asked the most, are: if you want to generally improve, then the best thing you can do is to get comfortable skiing on a variety of conditions. And if you want to ski faster, then the best thing you can do is to practice in the moguls. And if you want to ski steeper, then the best thing you can do is to repeat the steep slopes over and over in order to build confidence. So my last tip, if you want to improve your skiing, is to not be afraid to ski solo. And just to clarify, I would only recommend skiing solo on piste in designated ski resorts or ski stations, and to never venture out into the backcountry or off-piste alone. But in my years of traveling solo, I've learned that if I had to wait for someone else to coordinate or make plans, I would have never seen or experienced some of my most rewarding travel memories. And I've learned that the same thing applies to skiing. Like I had mentioned before, in the last 4 years, I've skied over 100 days alone in destinations all over Europe and in the US. So speaking from experience, it is definitely something I recommend if you're motivated and want to focus on improving. There are so many benefits of skiing alone, like shorter wait times at lifts in the singles line, and less pressure if you don't like the feeling of someone waiting on you while you're still learning, and the freedom to decide when to start, stop, and take breaks as you wish. I personally have skied more days by myself than I have with friends, but the training and experience I've gained from all these solo ski days have certainly made my ski days with friends much more fun and relaxing. And because I am more capable, thanks to all the time and effort I put in on my solo ski days, then I feel like I can enjoy my time with my friends and just focus on having fun. So, while it started as a hobby, skiing has become a passion of mine, and I'm so grateful to have been able to see myself progress and to also discover so many new destinations. I will link a map of all the places that I've ever skied in the description below if you're curious. And if you have any questions about my experience skiing or other tips for how to improve, then definitely leave me a comment below. I am always happy to connect, and I hope that this video was helpful. I've posted other videos about skiing, but my channel is really about following your passion and prioritizing your hobbies, and about getting out of your comfort zone. And generally just about learning new things as an adult and knowing that it's never too late to get started. So if that sounds like you, then check out my other videos and don't forget to subscribe. I wish you the best of luck in improving your skiing, and I hope to see you out there.